What's going on, Soul Nation? Ginger Prime here, bringing you the latest developments around Blue Protocol. And we're not going to beat around the bush. Some really awesome, exciting news today. Global release confirmed. In the Q&A with the devs during their Dev Update 3, which is going to be the last one for a little while, so just hold tight. They're going to be doing the closed beta test here in late March. You still have time to sign up. The sign up cuts off on March 2nd. We have a guide up over on Work to Game if you want to sign up for the opportunity to get into the beta. They're only taking 50,000, and yeah, we might not get in, and that's okay. They're looking for more feedback, but they go in to confirm that they are, and since day one, planning a global release for Blue Protocol, and that obviously plays around with the controller support. And what we've seen last time they confirmed, obviously Xbox One controllers are already working with the game. Today, they actually showed it using a PS4 controller as well. So great development news here. Now we're going to summarize the entire 2 hours of the live letter, the Dev Update 3, whatever these end up being called. In it, they showed a dungeon, which you're seeing right now on the screen itself. I've got the footage there. I also have the highlights if you want to see my raw reaction to this information over on Work to Play, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in depth because there's some interesting systems in place that it relates to Final Fantasy 11, Final Fantasy 14, obviously Diablo, obviously so many other amazing games out there. It really draws a lot of inspiration, Phantasy Star Online 2 being one of them. Now, right now, he's showing that he has fallen down a cliff. There are hazards in the levels, so you need to be situationally aware. So he's just going to go ahead and suicide. He's going to respawn, have a nice little death penalty. Nothing too big, but it's going to slow him down. He's going to have 50% reduced HP, at least for a little while. And you can see here he is not moving as fast as he was before. So the levels are dangerous. This is an action RPG at its core. Anime inspired, gives me that Sword Art Online feels. Anyway, so there's a lot that we need to break down in this video. If you have any questions or comments, sound off in the comments below. I'm very interested in your thoughts, especially now that we know this is going to be coming and we're going to have the opportunity to play it. And hopefully it's still not going to be 8 years away, but you know, they did say that most likely it's going to be in Japan first. This is a Japan company, and this is going to give them ability because I'm not going to knock them. I bet global rollouts are hard, but hopefully we don't have to wait too much longer after a Japanese release. So this is great. All right, like we said, now you can see here in a dungeon, there's a couple things I want to point out. Like just from the UI perspective alone, you could see everybody here is at level 20. The mobs are ranging anywhere from, I've seen 18 to 27. Now chat over the course of this is commenting that it doesn't seem that difficult. It seems like that the enemies go down really easily. We also have seen in the game itself, there's going to be a part where you're going to see an NM, a named monster. It's going to have a, a powerful enemy that they're going to have to take down. And they seem to take that down okay as well. Now later, as they progress through the dungeon, things get harder. What you'll notice here, right now on the screen, your party is in blue. The name tags are blue, but there are white people in the party. And by white, I mean white name tags. I know that just probably sounds very horrible in the wrong context. So this is a multi-party dungeon. They're not in a raid. They're not in any kind of group. So this gives me Final Fantasy 11 feels, in which that you can see here. Now I'm actually seeing that they were actually also fighting level 9 enemies. So this is probably at the opening of the dungeon itself. So beyond just that, multiple parties are in the same dungeon together, and this gives me that Final Fantasy 11 vibe because dungeons were not instants. You can see here doing a an imagine to heal them up, a pig that comes in and it just dies to heal the party. Like that's both awesome and horrible at the same time. So now you can see here a nice little level 18 enemy that they're going to fight their way through. We're going to also talk about arena gameplay. They talked off a horde mode. And I'm going to show it because they have matchmaking built into this game, but they have an interesting way of doing it, and it's called the battle point system, and that means that your skills, your weapons, and more all feed into that. So let me pull that up and show you that stuff on screen right now. Again, if you want to see the full playthrough of this dungeon, link will be in the description below. You'll hear my live commentary going on throughout it. I'd love to know your thoughts over there as well. Okay, so here we are in the command menu for the arena. Now, arena typically gets put with PvP. Not in this case. PvP stands for party versus party, not player versus player. If you're new, you're just watching this video because you're curious what Blue Protocol is. Right now it's an action ARPG MMO. It's also a free-to-play game, and with all that respect, they've said they don't have any plans right now for PvP. So if you're looking for a PvP player versus player game, they've got some of that here in the form of leaderboards, rankings, etc., but not in the form of actual me versus you combat. Will be party versus party, and that's what this horde mode is showing us. So the real big takeaway that I'm just thrilled by, and I'd love to know your thoughts. How do you rate your level? How do you rate your weapons, especially with player agency and customization and skills and skill trees? How does all that get balanced out when it comes to matchmaking? Matchmaking being a very nice, convenient way of jumping into content and playing it and having fun. Well, that's where they come up with this battle point score. Level 21, you can see over here your weapon, level 10 of 12. You have certain skills, you have a certain build, and that's going to equate you to a level 14 BP, kind of your battle points. This is how it's going to try to match you with other players. So that way you don't end up getting input with somebody and it's like, hey, I'm here. Yeah, I'm cap level 50, or I don't know what the level cap is at the moment. But yeah, I haven't leveled up my weapon. I don't have any skills equipped. And then you end up just kind of hurting the party. This is something I'm going to see. It would be interesting to see if they apply it to other games that I play, namely Final Fantasy XIV would be a huge boost, especially when it comes to the limited system in which that they have certain jobs that you can't do matchmaking with because there's no guarantee that they have what they need to be able to be matched. Everything's kind of based off your item level in this regard. So it's good to see that they're evolving that and getting some more player agency as it relates overall to the game. So let's go ahead and run some gameplay. You can see here on the screen, you have a timer. Now, every fight is going to have different times. Every fight's going to have different wave mechanics. So in this case, you have 5 waves of enemies, 25 enemies in total, the last wave being the boss wave. And it can get kind of chaotic. This is not using the Trinity system that we've come to see in typical MMOs because of the action nature. This is going to, you can see that the caster here is being hunted down by packs of enemies. And so on stream they were joking because the guy with the sword and the shield was like, y'all need to group up on me. You can tank, you have taunts. There is obviously hate that's related to it, but it's still an ARPG, so you have to be situationally aware. And then you can obviously try to group them up to be able to perform your ultimate abilities, thus putting out as much damage as possible. So you can see it can get rather chaotic in this fight. Also, as a part of the Horde mode ARPG arena here, they've got it to where you can have different party sizes. So they say that for raids, they also talked about raids in this live stream, that they're going to have them. They originally tuned them for 30 people. That's huge. And right now they're setting up for the CBT to be 20. They're still testing. They can always kind of change that. That being said, all this is dev footage. All of this is subject to change. So keep that in mind. So I want to point out a few things here more on the screen. Obviously, over here on the left-hand side, they talked about chat being limited while in combat, and they're going to play around with that over time. You can see kind of chat popping in and out with pre-text or like image stickers, very all of PSO2 in that regards. They talked that maybe later they'll open up chat to be more fully developed as a part of in-combat. So they have in-combat chat and out-of-combat chat because the nature of the game, you're not going to be running around trying to talk while playing, but you can be able to kind of queue up different commands, different stickers like you see there. It kind of pops up on screen, shows the text. It very visually, I really actually appreciate it. Ultimately, I don't know how if it will end up being annoying, but we'll have to wait and see in the long run. You see your party down here, and you can see you got two 20s and a 21. Their life, any kind of status effects and things like that that are affecting them. And overall, like, it looks really, really solid. And you can see the UI in and of itself as they switch the characters. Some have a little black bar at the bottom, some don't. So it looks like they're still doing some testing overall in that respect. It's really cool because at the end of it, let's go and just jump to the end of it, because it's like, here they are pulling out their imagines, fighting the bosses. This is a freaking epic boss you can see here. Obviously getting the big hits, getting in. Let's go and fast forward a little bit. And let's get to, the arena cleared. Now, they say they're going to do, they're having it set up for random victory emotes right now, but they're going to let you play around in this space so that when you do finish the arena, you'll be able to do your own emotes. And here's the results that they get. Looks like you get, like in this case, 150 GCs, 200k experience, and 44,000 Ls. I believe this is the main currency. I think I've seen it before. Like, I'm wondering if this is the premium currency, because they said that you can play this game completely for free. Completely solo, too. If you just want to play solo through the story, download the game, play it, and go about your day. But that obviously is going to be interesting to see how they ultimately bring this all together in and of itself. I'm really excited to see how this plays out. I'm really excited to see how this all comes together and plays out. Just the fact that we're getting that global release, just the fact that they talked about how you can play for free, just the fact that they showed off controller config options, they showed off more, they talked about their talk mode. Before, this is just a way that you can communicate in towns, and it kind of kept you stationary. Now you can talk more and move around. So it seems like they're continually improving it. They are very interested in the feedback. They are very much looking forward to the beta test. In fact, they talked about having a global beta test, but right now to start with it, they're just focusing in on obviously Japan to get the fastest feedback possible for this game in and of itself. Let's see, I'm looking over my notes right here. I know I usually try to keep these a little bit more edited for y'all, but hopefully you've enjoyed this video and kind of the more, I guess social nature, or the more just kind of casual nature of the video and my thoughts as I've kind of been putting it together and pulling up the different clips as well. They talked about questing. Questing quests are going to be discoverable, so they really encourage you to have that JRPG experience by talking to a lot of NPCs. I'm sure we're going to see those exclamation marks that we've seen over their heads before, but they say they've got them all kind of hidden around the world, and so that your exploration, you could end up coming upon a quest that way, and they're going to reward obviously various rewards. This is an MMORPG after all. So with its free-to-play mode, for me, I'm going to continue to say it. We'll have to wait and see how it's monetized. Hopefully they look and follow the kind of the Phantasy Star Online 2 model. I think that will be ultimately important in the long run. But yeah, like this is a great dev update. They did say that no more next week. They're all gearing up for the closed beta test, and they'll be sure to do some more of that later down the road. So keep that, keep it locked here if you guys are interested in more Blue Protocol, Phantasy Star Online, ARPGs, video games in general. I hope that if you feel like I've earned your sub, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, be sure to ring that bell so YouTube will actually notify you. If you want to be notified when we post a new video, which we do occasionally throughout the week as news develops and as we develop guides for the different games that we're playing. Anyway, for Ginger Prime, thanks so much for watching. Again, check out the links in the description if you guys want to see full uninterrupted gameplay sessions of the dungeon and of the arena battle. I'd love to know your thoughts on those. And then also, if you haven't subscribed to our Work to Game channel, be sure to go check that out as well. I'm going to have some additional thoughts to share later in the day about this game. I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to hopefully getting to play it this March, but also I'll be keeping you guys up to date on the developments for the game itself. Anyway, like I said, my name is Brian. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.